Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim, that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Barak the Yahawah, barak the yahawashi, bahasham, quadash, barak atham. So, out here another week, prophesying the downfall of America, better known as Babylon in the scriptures, Babylon the Great, if you will, because it's a combination of all the former captivities all rolled up into one. And that's what this place has been. You know, it's been nothing but slavery. It's also known as Sodom in Egypt because there's nothing but sodomy around here. And yet Egypt, because Egypt means bondage. So it's a place of hard bondage. And sure enough, though, these Edomites are now starting to feel that as the same bastards that are going and destroying homes in Syria and burning them to the ground and constantly giving weapons to the terrorist groups and, you know, have now also staged a falsified, you know, because Russia and the rest of them, they don't believe it, about al-Baghdadi being dead. Supposedly the boogeyman was killed, but yet at the same time, the terrorism still exists. So, America's always been the terrorist, and now they're starting to see the plagues thereof, because these same elites, the Rothschilds, are still having great wrath coming down. And you can see that with all the PG&E shutoffs and the fires burning everywhere. And then up here, you know, of course, you got, you know, sleazy landlords that don't want to fix anything. But what's happening is authority property management is now going and buying up all the properties. And then what they're doing is they're hijacking it to where you have to pay 3 times their rent, you know, and it's a shithole, you know. Yeah, I just got a 60-day notice from them motherfuckers, you know, and for what they said they was renovating. They ain't renovated shit. They've already listed the place. We ain't even fucking moved yet, you know, and they have a fucking, you know, saying that they're renovating the place and that we've been all given a 60-day notice. So, of course, I've been moving while everybody else has been celebrating that folly Halloween, you know. Now, man, we've been on the move, man. Because, you see, that's a lesson to be learned here. Always got to be on the move. This devil's come down hard, having great wrath. We know we're in Jacob's trouble. We know that these plagues are being sent by the Most High. He's sending the sword after the wicked, you know. And we pray that we're not a part of the judgment, even though we'll feel it. I mean, yeah. You know, I'm not sure where I'm going to live next, but at the same time, though, I know I got to pack up and move. So, you know, you got to always be on the move, man, you know. Because the famine of the word is around the corner. Plagues are being sent. This place is burning down, and there's other brothers without power in them PG&E areas. Southern California, big time, is being plagued, you know, with these fires, you know. So, you know, the brothers, they're going to be taken care of. I was taken care of during the car fire here, you know, because I still prophesied saying, fuck Babylon, this place is going to burn. And I've still been diligent about this thing. So the death and destruction didn't come my way. You know, but at the same time, though, you know, lots of other things are shutting down. They can't even keep power to these places, so all the perishables have been disappearing. So businesses have been having to cut corners, you know, employees who actually work, you know, have to actually take pay cuts, you know, just like with the government shutdown earlier this year. Man, plagues are just all around Babylon. Harvests ain't being cropped, you know, crops ain't being grown because of the storms that came earlier this year, you know. And PG&E, they're just shutting down shit right and left, even in places that don't even have the wildfires. And it's not to prevent wildfires. It's just their way of saying that we can fuck with you anytime that we want to, you know. But people are stupid enough to believe them, even though they haven't prevented one goddamn wildfire yet. These fucking wildfires are everywhere because they're really being started by energy bombs, you know. The government itself is starting these fires because it's a Rothschild plan to burn California. You know, they plan to just pretty much burn everything. Why? Because even Dabu 7 has even talked about it. That there's uranium in them mountains, there's gold in them mountains, you know. So those are places that they're renovating. Just like housing property management up here in Redding is now buying up all the properties and then hijacking the rent. Although the funny thing is, though, is that they didn't change the amount of the rent, but they still charge you 3 times the amount. So they're kicking everybody else out to get in new tenants. You know, what's going to be a bigger plague, though, is that, yeah, man, a lot of things I said, didn't say shit about, now I'll say it. You know, I told that I had to run some Edomites off that were looking to fucking rent the place. Had to run them off, you know, after I found out that they already listed it. They already listed the place for the same amount that we're paying. So we have to get out so this fucking piece of shit, goddamn fucking Edomite can move in. Nah, man, I was fucking hot, you know, and I ran them off. But I told them that it's a shithole, that I'm going to be suing them you know, because of everything? Well, you know, just pretty much saying, though, that, you know, everything in mine got ruined. There was a plumbing issue, man. It's leaking all the way to the ground. It's fucking rot everywhere. You know, maybe I'll show that in another one of my videos, you know, because I'll use a Screencast-O-Matic while I still got it. But, man, I've packed up almost everything, man. I ain't got much longer to go on this thing. 2-bedroom duplex, man, you know, and I'm already packed while everybody else was celebrating that folly, you know. Yeah, man, you know, we got to be on the move. You know, this devil's come down having great wrath. And we're seeing that, you know. Places are being shut down. You know, the mirth of this place, the workers of iniquity are now getting punished. They're getting plagued with it big time, you know. And, you know, we have always known how to survive because we're Jakes, you know. We've always known how to survive, you know. That's just it. Esau couldn't take us out completely. Not to mention you got too many Israelite foreigners, you know, like myself, that don't necessarily look like an Israelite, but yet have this word of prophecy because we've been awakened to this, you know. We've come out of our sleep. Now we're awakened to everything, and we've been prophesying everything that's been happening. So they now got ID 2020 out there, you know, to microchip everyone via the vaccinations, which people are still dumb enough to go get. But, you know, they've already started doing it in Austin, so how many other places? Well, what do you think is the reason for the downsizing, you know? Because that's a downsizing event causing these fires. By what they like to say is wildfire, but you and I both know those are energy bombs. The same terrorism they've been using in Syria. And then you know that they've been blowing the fucking, you know, metal particles in the air purposely to catch the fire. People are aware of this because the people in Sonoma already put up that video, which I forwarded in mine, you know, saying that PG&E is Rothschild, so they're aware. Of course, it's been a Rothschild plan to burn California, you know. It started with the Carr fire and Mendocino fire, Hearst fire, Delta fire, and then, of course, the one that took out Paradise. But you see, these plagues are being sent to mostly these Edomites, man. The Edomites are catching it most of all, you know. And it's well-deserved, you know. No, he shall not go together altogether unpunished, you know. You know, we're starting to see finally that this devil's getting judged for everything that he's done to us. So this thing says I only have 30 minutes. Exactly, so I have to cut it off at 30 minutes no matter what. Slovakia for that, but that's all I got to work with, you know. So I'm going to read out Jeremiah chapter 50. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. And we're in the modern day land of the Chaldeans, you know, these Edomites, you know, that run Babylon the Great. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set a standard. Publish and conceal not. Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her idols are broken in pieces. And you've seen this place being broken into pieces, man. The mirth of this place ain't here no more. Businesses shutting down right and left because of these PG&E cutoffs. You know, the fire's burning, destroying everything in its path. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her. That's talking about Russia and its allies. And there's a lot of allies of Russia. Even former allies of the U.S., like Turkey, is now allied with Russia. Libya, all of them, Gomer and all his bands, they're all lined up with Magog, you know, because, of course, Magog is that north country that's going to come against this place. Which shall make her land desolate by way of the nuclear missiles. 200 million nuclear missiles are going to destroy this place. None shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Of course, because, you know, 200 million nuclear missiles is going to destroy this place completely. You know, this will be taken in 1 hour, just as the scripture says. In those days and in that time, saith the Most High, the children of Yahawah shall come together, and the children of Yahawah together. And that's happening now. You know, all 12 tribes are coming together. The northern and the southern kingdom have come together. All 12 tribes are coming together. That's why the 12 tribes sign is with us, you know, wherever we teach. Going and weeping. That's what we're doing now. We're weeping. We're weeping because this is an unrighteous ruling, man. You know? And, of course, you know, like everything else, so what's happened is there has been a cleansing, you know? We know who's on fire and who isn't. I'm still doing my 3 videos a week, even though I have to pack and move. I'm still able to do it. I'm still able to come out here and prophesy. So what's everyone else's excuse for not doing the 3 videos a week and coming out and prophesying? You see what I'm saying? They shall go and seek the Most High their power. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come and let us join ourselves together to the Most High in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. Again, pretty much we're coming back to our power, and we're calling upon his real true name. No longer calling upon those idol names, because we know there's no J in the Hebrew. And we know that his name ain't that gibberish that those Amalekites speak. We know his real name. My people hath been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. And that's talking about these bootleg camps. This is talking about many others, that, they tell you one part of it, but then they start putting other things there. Now, these stumbling blocks were put there for a reason. Because, of course, the Most High only wants the ones that are true. The true, believers. The true ones that will not compromise the doctrine. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Pretty much, though, once you start making compromises with this word, and it's like you start thinking things like, well, not all Edomites are bad. Not all Edomites will be destroyed. Some Edomites will be saved. Nah, they're only going to be saved for slavery, and that's about it. But, you start making little compromises like that, pretty soon you change the whole doctrine. It just starts that simple. And that's why you see all those other camps. And we know Esau set up a lot of them anyways, to be the stumbling block, to cause the others to go astray, those that will. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Most High, the habitation of justice, even the Most High, the hope of their fathers, so. And they knew that when they took the northern kingdom, when they took Gad. They show you that in their movies, man. They show you that in their movies, that, because they had sinned against the Lord, we could do this. That's what these Edomites had planned. They knew who we were. They knew that we were Jakes. But they also knew that we had gone astray, and that the sword was given into their hand. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flock. And that's what's happening, though. The sifting is happening, No new members in Great Millstone as of this year. No new members, Pretty much, though, it's a solid, meaning that those that are on fire for this will be staying, but those that ain't are going to be sifted out. It's happening. For lo, I will cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. That's Magog and all its allies. I just named some of them earlier. Gomer and all his bands. Libya, all of them with shield and helmet. Roughly paraphrasing Ezekiel 38. But there's even more than that. Italy is some of them. Well, actually, not. But, Italy before. But there's Germany, there's Merkel. There's a lot of these EU allies that are now starting to align themselves with Russia. Even Korea, South Korea, North Korea may actually become one country again, because they're tired of the puppet government there. They're tired of threats from the West. Ethiopia has now become an ally unto Russia, which Ethiopia was named in Ezekiel 38. A lot of the places of North Africa are now aligned with the North Country, which is Magog. And they shall set themselves in array against her. When Putin puts out words like against pressure from the West, that's what this is. For thence shall be taken, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. Talking about the missile silos, because these countries are also getting the S-400 systems capable of long-range nuclear missiles. They have them. Shall be as a mighty expert man, none shall turn in vain. Meaning that they're going to make their targets. And could be no misfire there. This Star Wars program that Ronald Reagan said would take out nuclear missiles if that ever happened. Now, that whole Star Wars system is part of what Donald Trump also calls the Space Force. They have a plan to fight the Most High. And that's why, you've been brought up on video games and all stuff about aliens and flying saucers, because they know those are the chariots of the Most High. Yes, I reiterate that, because that's been a big-time deception, Because you were glad, you rejoice, O you destroyers of mine heritage, because you grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as wolves. And that's why all these places are being plagued now. Now they're starting to feel it. They're starting to feel what it's been like all along for the rest of us, you know, because they spoiled us. They didn't leave us any spoils, man. They took everything from us. You know, while we went out hunting, you know, Gad, Reuben, all them tribes, man, when we went out hunting, guess what? That's when that devil came in and burned our villages, ravished our women, took many of them with them, just pretty much destroyed our places. Now look at what these fires are doing, man. The Rothschild has a plan. The sword is sent against these fucking devils, man. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Talking about where this place originates, of course. Mother Babylon is dealing with the UK in particularly. She that bare you shall be ashamed. And that's what's happening. A lot of people in the UK speak out against America, Babylon, and against the war in Iraq, and against the war on Syria. You know, the people do. We know that the ruling government of London, you know, pretty much backs it because that's part of the beast, the Illuminati. The hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Yeah, because the way of the nuclear missiles is going to lay this land desolate. Because of the wrath of the Most High, it shall not be inhabited. This whole place is never going to be inhabitable again. Not after 200 million nuclear missiles get fired off, and most of those are going to be over here. But it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and has set her plagues. Yeah, in 1 hour, this place is going to be destroyed. And man, they're just going to see that destruction, because that is going to be on satellite. Rupley is definitely going to capture that shit. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all you that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Most High. And that's just it, man. All these nuclear missiles are going to come this way. This place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. We want this place to burn, man. We're fucking sick of it here, man. This fucking place sucks, man. You know? In no time at all, these devils, authority property management, are going around properties and fucking buying them up really cheap, not even fixing them, but then telling you that they're kicking you out because they're renovating the place and they fucking already listed the fucking place and you ain't even fucking moved yet, you know? So, fucking, I wish nothing but death and hell on this place, man. Fuck America. Fuck Reading. You know? Fuck all these bastards, man. They fucking deserved car fire, man. Every one of them deserved it. Shout against her, which is what I was doing. Roundabout. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down, man. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this whole place being destroyed, man. From within, man. Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Most High. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done. Do unto her. And that's what's going to happen, man. All of these places are now doing unto Babylon. The elites, the Rothschilds, are doing unto Babylon. PG&E is Rothschild. The people of Sonoma know it because it was there at the city council meeting. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. You know, and that's the Most High coming down with the sickle, man. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. And that's what's happening, man. A lot of people are getting out of America, and that's why Donald Trump, more than anything else, wants to build that wall, is to keep people in America. Think about it, man. You know, you're a convict, so-called, you know, convict. You know, now you're forever plagued, man, by that. So, of course you want to get out of America, you know, and start a new life down in Mexico and further down. Yahawah is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First the king of Syria hath devoured him, and the last his Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon hath broken his bones. And that's just it, though. From the time of the Assyrian captivity all the way up to now. We've been in this place. We've been in this place for a long time. You know, that proves, though, that we are the people of the Most High, because the Assyrian captivity, we came over here. You know, the northern kingdom came over here. So it's talking about this place, you know. And here we are, modern-day king of Babylon, Rothschild, because all Donald J. Trump is the clown that wears the suit, you know. Therefore, thus saith the Most High of Hosts, the God of Yahawah, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land. Happening right now, but even more so by way of the nuclear missiles. And you know that the mark of the beast is right around the corner. And they made it almost mandatory that you have to chip your pets just to get the licenses, you know, which is a bunch of bullshit anyways. I will punish the king of Babylon and his land, as I have punished the king of Assyria. You know, so this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. But in particularly, though, it's being punished right now. And, you know, it's a slow thing. Here's the faith and patience of the saints, you know, which we are the saints, because we're the ones that are coming out speaking this truth. And I will bring Yahawah again to his habitation, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. You know, the northern and southern kingdom have come together, man. You know, the division that we once had is no longer there. Man, we know who each other is. We've accounted for all 12 tribes. That's why we have the sign up. The northern and southern kingdom are coming together. And this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. And we're happy for that. We're happy that finally this last captivity is just about up. You know? And these others, man, they have no hope. You see what happens, you know, when you get something like that, you know, others freak out, man. All I did is just pack up, man. I know I can't fight this devil. You can't fight against this devil. You can't win. Nah, Yahawashi and his angels are going to destroy this devil. In the meantime, we're just going to have to, when you're told you got to pack up and leave, you got to pack up and leave. You know, it's like, well, shit, okay, I can't stay here anymore. Got to pack up and leave, you know. Never get too comfortable here, you know. And I knew that one day that would happen. Duh. It's the mark of the beast, man. Checks are going to stop. Everything's going to be on that chip. So, therefore, you're not going to have any money because you can't buy, sell, or trade. So, therefore, the mark of the beast is right around the corner. You know, that's why Authority Property Management is buying up all these places. Getting ready for the chip, man. You know, to chip everyone. You know, eventually they're going to, you know, you already see all these security systems, which is all run by the microchip, you know, and the finger index system. So you know that it's here. The mark of the beast is already here. And they've been chipping people for a long time. That's why they cause these crises. You know, that's why they did what they did during the hurricanes. You know, they were chipping people as far back as Hurricane Katrina, you know, in them domes, going to FEMA. Because FEMA's always been the shadow government, the secret government of the United States and everything else, man. Been part of the UN, Army After Next, because Jade Helm means Army After Next. So that's who's going to be leading this army, leading this charge. And that's why there was a plan to burn California. That's why all these things are happening. Because it's a bigger plan, you know, to pretty much, and don't forget, during these raids, when they're knocking at your door, telling you to evacuate, they're going in and confiscating your guns. And then they're going to tell you something like, oh, well, you know, there was just looters there, you know. That's why your place is broken into, you know. Nah, man, you can't believe anything this devil tells you. He was a liar from the beginning. The only thing he plans on doing is pretty much, you know, he's going to come down hard, having great wrath. They know their time is up. We've been prophesying that their time is up. Everybody knows that those are not the real Jews, you know. But and the whole world already knew that. But people in Babylon are now starting to realize those aren't. You know, those are the Amalekites that the Bible speaks of, you know. And a lot of them just call them Edomites as well, which we know Amalek is the head tribe of the Edomites. So everybody knows that they're not the real ones, and that they're the ones that are behind all the things that are going on. And that pretty much that the only reason why the U.S. Was in Syria was to steal the oil. And that's just it, man. The more they covet, well, guess what? This same devil's doing the same over here, man. Places are getting shut down, lights out, PG&E cutting power, even though not a goddamn fire has been prevented whatsoever. No, because their job was never to prevent fires. They are the oppressors. That's who they've always been. And now it's coming back. You know, everybody knows why America went over to Syria, and that was to steal the oil. Was really to try to control everything for the great Israel project, which was to pretty much capture Iraq as well, which they've done that. You know, but the people of Iraq are fighting back. That's why they're causing insurrections. Mossad operations there inside Iraq, especially in Baghdad again. Of course, because they want control over the oils to steal the resources. Because that petrodollar is starting to disappear. Because why? The BRICS systems, that North country has spoken of in these prophecies. That North country has a lot of nations behind them, and it's more than just the BRICS nations. BRICS is just an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They have a lot more nations joined unto them, and they're trading without that petrodollar. You know, Iran also has its own oil that it gets to trade. So they bypass that. And that's why these Amalekites are trying to get Iraq and Syria. But pretty much, though, what's happened, though, is Gomer and all his bands are now joined under Russia, so they can't use Gomer anymore. You know, so they still, most of the U.S. military is going to be going into Saudi Arabia. So the army after next, the UN, is going to be coming over here. That's why all these things are happening, you know. In 1 hour, this place is going to be judged, but you're going to see martial law. Of course this thing's going to turn into martial law. There's a lot of uproars of the people because their power's been cut for a long time. All their food is spoiled. Because that's what this devil does. That's what he's always done. So, you know, you always got to be on the move. And that's just it, you know. Got the 60-day notice. I did not hesitate, you know. I know I can't fight that devil, you know. And, you know, the judge, man, I try to appeal that and say, well, they lied about this. The judge is just going to say, well, they can lie. They don't have to tell you the reasons. They gave you plenty of time. That's what they'll say. So why even fight the devil? Not to mention, if you're an Israelite, you already know you can't fight the devil. You're in his place. You were brought into this captivity for a reason. And now, your job is to just prophesy against it. You can't fight Esau's own game. You know, all these others think that they can fight the system, that they can win. Nah, man, you can't win, but you can certainly expose them. You know, like Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11 tells you, have no fellowship with evildoers, but rather reprove them. And that's what we're doing, is we're reproving this place, man. And we're telling our people to come out of Babylon, you know. Come out of her sins, her wickedness. Stop doing those things. Stop eating pork. Stop eating shrimp. Stop celebrating their wicked festivities. And be an Israelite. Be ye separate. Because that's what Yahawah means. It's a special nation. And we serve a higher power. And then when we do that, this higher power, which is the true only higher power, Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, quadash, well, that's what the devil fears most of all, is the fact that we can call upon that power now. And that we were all right. I was all right when the car fire happened. You know, all the others were getting plagued by it, but I was all right. Because the Most High is going to take care of his elect. You know, I think really seriously, though, the place that I was renting, that the fucking roof is about to go in, you know. Because that leak, that water leak, man, that they did nothing to fix, it's leaking all the way through. Like I said, I'll probably show pictures of that in my next video, just to show you what this place was like, man. You'd be surprised what we tolerate. And it's because, of course, Esau's come down, you know, most places don't allow pets, so you settle for shitholes, you know. And authority property management are the worst fucking bastards to ever fucking rent from. You know, they're a fucking piece of shit, of course, because they're, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they're directly linked with Rothschild, you know. And they probably are, of course, because they're the rich fucking cocksuckers that are going around buying the fucking property. You know, because that's what this devil does. It's like, oh, okay, all these people are fucking poor, low income. We'll just buy up the property. We'll hijack the, you know, they didn't even change the amount of the price. But what they do, though, is they charge you 3 times the amount of the security deposit, which is way more than we paid to get in. They want to get us out. And you know as well as I do that they fuck you out of the security deposit. Any security deposit you paid, you ain't getting it back. These motherfuckers will find every way to say that you owe them, or that everything came out of your deposit. You know, you're lucky if you even get back fucking $40. That's what these motherfuckers do, you know? Because the worst of these goddamn Edomites are these fucking realtors, they fucking Amalekites. You know, every fucking one of them fucking deserves to burn. And I'm glad that the Most High is sending a fire upon this place. And I can't wait for that hour when this place is destroyed, man. I fucking hate America. I've hated America for a long time. I see what it does, man. Do you think that there's any love for those doing the fighting? So-called fighting for the country, but really are just stealing land from others? Yeah, I saw how much America cares about their fucking veterans. Look at the way that they fucking treated the people in Benghazi, man. Fucking government said, oh, that's just another bump in the road. Fucking President Obama just said it's just another bump in the road. And what was it Hillary said? We came, we saw, we killed them, you know, when Muammar Gaddafi was taken out of power. And you know why Gaddafi was taken out of power? Because of the fact that he actually helped his people. He had a water system and he bypassed the U.S. dollar. And that's what all these other countries are doing, is bypass the U.S. dollar. Yeah, Russia did not intervene to save Gaddafi, but now Libya is starting to get protection from Russia. They have the S-400s. So anyhow, I I'm already getting a blinking light. So for that, I just wanted to say, barak the Yahawah, barak the yahawashi, bahasham quadash, wa ba ba ba. Barak atham, Yahawah elect. Shalom.